Kohima, Nagaland, India, October 12. Rohingyas also pose a serious threat to the security of India's northeastern state Nagaland, as around 2,000 local Muslims have volunteered to take up arms against the Nagas if the latter try to drive them out, according to sources. There are also reports that around 20 ISIS terrorists operatives have entered Nagaland and are training the volunteers. They are planning suicide bomb attacks and bomb blasts throughout the Nagaland. The authorities have directed to track the movement of Muslims in Dimapur after getting this information. The sources confirmed that the Imam of Dimapur is contacting the Rohingya rebels and has commenced collecting a huge amount of arms and ammunition from Bangladesh. The Imam is reportedly planning to attack Hebron and Kahoy camps, post through which it will be convenient for them to capture Nagaland. According to UN sources, the number of Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh BD has crossed 500,000. However, it is reported that the influx touches 9,000,000. The forces deployed for refugee camps restrict the entry of genuine global relief agencies to makeshift refugee camps. However, several radical Islamic organizations are active inside the camps. It is believed that Pakistan's Jud elements from Al-Qaeda, Jamaat-e-Islami, Chhatra Shabir, ISI and some other Islamist groups have infiltrated the camps as relief workers for distributing relief material from Islamic countries. They have picked up a significant number of young refugees for arms training. It is learned that during the night such people were whisked away in vehicles of security forces to 3 districts including Bandarban and Kagrachari. Needless to say that there are several elements in armed forces who are supporters of ISI and oppose Indo-Bangladesh amity. It may be recalled that on 1 April 2004 Bangladesh police seized sophisticated firearms including 27,020 grenades, 840 rocket launchers, 3,000 rockets, 2,000 grenade launching tubes, 6,392 magazines and 40,520 rounds of assorted ammunition. The consignment was to be delivered to insurgents of India in the radical religious outfits of BD. Paresh Barua, military wing chief of ULFA, was then living in Dhaka with his team. There he held regular meetings with ISI operatives, Pak High Commission officials and Tariq Rahman, son of Khalida Zia, the then PM of BD. The arms seizure took place during the rule of Bangladesh Nationalist Party led by Khalida Zia and its four-party alliance. In early 2007, charges against more than 160 politicians, government servants, senior army officers and businessmen from BD were framed. Khalida Zia's son was in limelight for his involvement in the smuggling of arms, ammunition and money laundering. On the 21st of July 2016, Dhaka High Court sentenced him to 7 years in jail, scrapping acquittal by a lower court 3 years ago. He was also fined 200 million takas. He lives in exile in England. Political leaders charged included former Industries Minister under the BNP government and former State Minister for Home Affairs. Bangladesh's former Director General of National Security Intelligence, Director General of Directorate General of Forces Intelligence, former Director General of National Security Intelligence, former Additional Secretary to the Industries Ministry, former NSI Director and some others were convicted by the court. The Rohingya, a Muslim ethnic minority, are denied citizenship under a 1982 Myanmar citizenship law. The Myanmar government recognizes them as illegal immigrants from BD. A crackdown by Myanmar's army, launched in response to attacks by Rohingya militants on August 25, has pushed vast numbers of refugees from the stateless Muslim minority across BD border. The violence has incubated a humanitarian crisis on both sides of the border. Rohingya dialect is different from Bengali. They comprise of 3 communities, namely Buddhists, Hindus and Muslims. In 9th century AD, some Arab traders bound for China entered Burma after shipwreck due to severe cyclone turbulence. They reached Arakan Sea coast. They comprised of traders, sailors, armed guards and bonded labor. Later migrants from East Bengal also trickled over centuries. Burma was part of British India. It was segregated from India in 1937 as a separate country. Rohingya asked for independence. The British rulers made some vague promise. Shortly afterwards, WW2 broke out in 1939 and reached Burma in 1942. Rohingya were trained as V-Force to stay back and hit the Jap from the rear during Arakan campaign. The Buddhists of Burma helped Japanese forces. Therefore, clash of interest was inevitable. Islam was the binding factor for Muslim Rohingya. There were intermittent clashes between Muslims and Buddhists. Penetration of Islamic radicals encouraged them to organize and train them as terrorists. There were favorable guidance and help from BD where pro-Islamic forces sharply raised their head. It was the period of Khalida Zia's rule. A plan for the second partition of India was developed by Mughal Research Institute (MRI) of Jahangirnagar University, Bangladesh during the regime of PM Khaleda Zia. It was the brainchild of Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence Agency and Director General of Forces Intelligence and NSI of Bangladesh. The Mughal Research Institute of Bangladesh (MRI) had released a map depicting a Muslim corridor named Mughalistan. It connected Pakistan and Bangladesh via India. Rohingya felt stronger and repeatedly committed atrocities on Buddhist population. Recently, dead bodies of Hindu Rohingya mercilessly killed by Rohingya Muslims were exhumed in Myanmar. It is reported that over 1,000 Hindus are missing and believed killed by Muslim terrorists. Such elements who thrive on terrorism are planning to create their bases in Nay with help of ULFA under Paresh Barua. 6 Rohingya and 3 Touts were intercepted in Karimganj, Assam recently. A principal of Tezpur Government School has reportedly gone to Bangladesh to help and assist the Rohingya refugees who are now in BD. In October this year, DG, BSF and his counterpart from Border Guards of Bangladesh decided to conceptualize border management to prevent infiltration and speed up detection of illegal entrants from across the border. Total 140 vulnerable spots have been identified along 4,096 kilometers long Indo-BD border from where Muslim Rohingya can cross over to India. The border guards face the worst challenge in riverine borders, land borders where population inhabits zero line. There are houses with doors opening in both the countries. Such areas pose a serious challenge during poor visibility. Writer V.K. Gower is former IGBSF, UNI.